Okay, cheerleaders, got to calm down. No more cheerleading like you want. Can't have that. We're getting into that one. So, Mr. Beaten Up and Bruised Man, where's Usama? So it's vitiligo, huh?
Vitiligo, that's what they say.
Kind of like that thing Michael Jackson pretends he has, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping his terror buddies had beaten him up, but I guess vitiligo will do. Police in Houston getting their man in dramatic fashion. Check this out here. The police vehicle, yep, that ought to do it. Sliding right into a man accused of snatching a purse at a Walmart store. Cops say the suspect fled in his car, eventually driving into a drainage ditch. They say he'd been raining, and the soaked surface caused the truck to slide. A female passenger was also arrested. Wow, that was rough, wasn't it? That plus cheerleaders who are going to be regulated by the morality police coming up. And then there's the cheerleading thing. An American tradition for decades. I mean, they get out there, they have lots of fun, they shake. You know, they shake and they show off, they do a little dancing, and it's fun to watch, all right? But now there's a law in the works to censor the cheerleaders. The Texas State House has approved the so-called booty bill. The bill restricts, quote, overly suggestive cheerleading. Its sponsor says the performances are a distraction for students, resulting in pregnancies, dropouts, and the spread of sexually transmitted diseases.
Which has nothing to do with a football game, has nothing to do with a community function. We cannot continue to exploit our young girls the way we are.
Good Lord. Critics of the bill say it's unnecessary since Texas bans lewd acts in public places anyway, and some are questioning the government's priorities here. It still needs state Senate approval and then the okay from the Republican governor. Can you believe that, Janice?
No, I used to be a cheerleader.
It rarely happens, Janice.
You're speechless? I wasn't that suggestive, though.
Unbelievable.
Want me to do a little cheer?
Dumbfounded, Janice. Dumbfounded. Go ahead. Go Texas. Go Texas.
I lived in Houston, Texas, actually.
Good.
And it was because it gets a little chilly.
Get pregnant from that cheerleading. Did you hear about that?
No comment.
Yep, spreading sexually transmitted diseases because of the cheerleading.
I have no children that I know about at this stage of the game. That's your Foxcast. Go Shep! Go
All right, Janice. They're still allowing that at Marshall Academy down there in Holly Springs. Thank goodness they haven't lost all sense of reality there yet. But I'm sure it's coming. No cheering. Now I want to talk about Texas, which is just weird. Suggestive cheerleading has been, a bill banning such a thing has been voted on by the State House, and it now has, because they got to protect the children, because apparently people are getting sexually transmitted diseases from cheering. That's what it says.
That is basically what it says, and I hope the governor vetoes this bill, because the Supreme Court has held for time immemorial that even children have the right to express themselves. It's hard to believe that by watching them you're going to commit a sexual act.
They are telling people what they can and can't do with their clothed bodies.
Correct.
And then they're telling them that they're not giving a definition for what suggestive is.
Will they ban
It's in the eye of the beholder, said the Texas State House representative from whom you heard earlier and who was on John Gibson's program yesterday and whom John Gibson wished luck with his endeavors. I almost fell off my chair.
Gibby and I disagree, and you and I disagree with him on this issue.
Luck, John Gibson.
The government should not be telling people how to express themselves and what to look at and what not to look at.
We need a big mirror, Judge. It just seems like telling them how to cheer and telling children how to cheer in Texas. There are rules about what you can do in public places. You need to have clothes on. You need to not show parts of your body that need to be covered. We already have these rules. They're already following these rules.
What will they regulate next in Texas?
I don't know. Maybe the color of your shoes. Maybe what your roof has to be made out of. Maybe the color of the person you can marry. Maybe we go back to that, too.
Government has to recognize that it has limits, and morality comes from within, not enforced from without.
Well, If you know anybody cheerleading, warn them about this whole sexually transmitted disease thing from out there shimmying, because it's dangerous.
By the way, Janice Dean was pretty good earlier.
She was. I can't. Jon Stewart's going to have one heck of a day with what's going on today. Thank you, Judge.
Anytime, Shep.
Oh, my goodness. You know what? I was stunned to find out. Now I know the root of all evil on this program.
Cheerleading.
Cheerleading. Paula Abdul was a cheerleader.
That's the beginning and the problems for her.
I think it is. I'm surprised they didn't just lock her up right then and there.
Look at the trouble she would have been saved.
Good grief almighty. Now to the mail, which is what O'Reilly would say. You know, this Texas thing, okay, I'm fired up about it. I can see that you were aroused, says Dave Smith, by the idea of prancing cheerleaders thrusting in your direction, but as the parent of a senior in high school, I think you missed the sexual element in some schools fail to enforce. Dave Smith goes on, but Dave, you know what? Maybe it's just me. This is just my opinion. But I think what children do on a cheerleading squad ought to be left up to their parents and themselves, and that the government ought to stay out of that sort of thing. But that's just me, because the government, I don't think, ought to be telling children how they can act out there. Aside from be decent, the laws are already in place. Now you got to come in and put your morality on cheerleaders? Sorry. I think that's a bad idea. But that's just me. Maybe Neil feels differently. You wouldn't let your daughter do that.
Just have that burger and be quiet. For God's sake.
Good idea.